Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan here to talk with you about the Miami Heat. As you see the energy just leaving my system, you know, that cup of coffee I had maybe 10 minutes before starting this video, those effects have just kind of left my system as I begin to discuss what would be the end of the Miami Heat season, a 120-103 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks, who look very tough. I'm also hearing a few things, which I'm going to start this video off with, is in terms of responding to a few things I'm hearing about the Heat, which I do not agree with. Before I get started, if you do like the content of this particular video, go ahead, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe as well to my channel, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. Now, guys, we got to get started here. First of all, I want to respond to just a few things I'm hearing out there, seeing on TV and things like that. So, this whole idea of the Heat were a fluke or what have you last year, forget it. No. There's nothing. That's like the biggest joke ever, okay? The Heat definitely deserved to go to the finals last year. They played well enough. It was a different team, okay? Yes, I know Goran Dragic averaged about 20 points a game in the postseason. Credit to him. He didn't do it this year, okay? Maybe he wasn't quite 100%, which I think more was the case. He is a year older. I mean, Dragic's been in the league forever. And there were other factors as well. Last year, the Heat were more of a rugged, physical type team. This was not the case during the 2020-2021 season. It just wasn't. It was more of a team that would go small. As I've said before, guys, if you've seen my videos before, I'm going to say it again. This team just goes small and stays small. When you start a lineup that, just in terms of size, okay, let's just talk size, is kind of resemblant of almost basically of a college team. You know, there's like Division II college teams that are almost as big as the Miami Heat, if not. You know, I don't have all the heights for you here memorized, or I'm going to, explain to you, but this is just a small team that plays small. It's really that simple. They have more physical guys that are a little bit bigger in size that they just don't play for whatever reason. So that's a factor. Okay, one thing I don't hear, which I'm a little bit surprised that played into this whole thing, is the fact that, which is usually a big warning sign, when the Heat, yes, they went out and got guys. That was good, even though Oladipo gets hurt. Okay. You get Dwayne Dedmon. You get Bjelica. Okay, that was good. The effort was there to go out there and improve your roster. But to take certain guys out of the rotation, such as Precious, such as KZ Okpala to a certain extent, who was part of the rotation there for a while, and just kind of switch that up with what? A handful of games left in the season, literally 5 games, 6 games left in the season, something like that. Definitely a red flag, guys. They showed these signs of panic in a sense. Let's switch up. Precious never getting out there, right? After a while, he went from maybe a little bit lower playing time, but always part of the rotation throughout the entire season. To we hardly ever saw him, and that was a little bit of a concern. And also, in addition, this to a little bit of a smaller extent, now Nunn's coming off the bench and Dragic starting. Okay, I could see the whole psychology, but everything was done almost out of panic. Like we can't beat these guys. We're not quite ready for the playoffs. They were almost showing that unfortunate reality to the rest of the league, to the fan base, etc., etc. So, guys, the Heat must, I'm hearing talk about, Kawhi Leonard might be coming to the Heat and this, that, and the other. But don't get me wrong, I would be extremely excited about that. I would be so happy if Kawhi Leonard came to the Heat. But do you think Kawhi Leonard right now is really thinking about that? He's in the middle of a 2-2 series, a battle against the Dallas Mavericks. His team just won Game 4. Anything could happen with the Clippers series and Dallas Mavericks. If you're Kawhi Leonard, I'm pretty sure the last thing you're thinking about right now is where he's going to wind up next year. The Clippers are in the middle of a great series, as mentioned, with Dallas. So let's just kind of leave it at that. But, you notice with the NBA, it's funny. It's not so much, some of the time, it's not so much what's actually happening. It's like, who's going to play? Who's going to play next year where? What's going to happen in the offseason? And we get ahead of ourselves. What about this season? Let's think about that. So, also in watching, I want to touch on this real quick. In watching some of that Suns-Lakers series, that's a good series. Now, I don't want to get off topic here. There's a reason why I bring this up. Jay Crowder is missed for the Miami Heat. Guys, I see him going up against LeBron. Now, is he successful? Of course not all the time. You're going up against LeBron. But boy, is Jay Crowder just battling. He's digging in defensively. He's all over the place. Just to slow down LeBron, he's bringing a level of feistiness, aggressiveness. The guy's got heart. Jay Crowder. I mean, I see him on my TV screen here over the weekend. And when the series started last week, I'm not saying the Heat season would be completely different with Jay Crowder, but let me tell you guys, it didn't help losing him, number one, and number two. Now, Trevor Ariza was a nice addition, but we need at least one more Jay Crowder type player, preferably two. You need these aggressive guys that are just going to go in there, they're going to dig in defensively. They got to improve their size, right? We're just too small, are the Heat, or at least the commitment to play bigger guys. Come on, what's going on here? They would get out-rebounded with the Heat 56-40 in Game 4. I want to get into a little bit of Game 4. And, and this other notion of, well, the Heat, they just can't get good shots. I think that was more of this series type situation. You got to give the Bucks credit, guys. The Bucks are focused beyond belief. They are not a happy team. They are playing with a chip on their shoulder after falling the last two postseasons when they were really expected to go to the finals, or at least a favorite to go to the finals. You got to keep that in mind. Bucks created the offensive woes for the Heat, who could have won Game 1. Remember, that was an overtime game. Once the Heat lost Game 1, it's like they just collapsed, basically, and really didn't have a chance, not much of a chance, throughout the rest of the series, losing in 4 straight. So the Bucks in the final, let's talk about Game 4 real quick, guys, and this will tell us some things, too. I mean, Brook Lopez, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks. Middleton, he had a great series, 20 points, 11 rebounds. Guys, for a guard, we see this happen, too. And we saw this happen too with DiVincenzo, who didn't play Game 4. Middleton had a great series, 3 assists also. Giannis had a triple-double, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, 2 blocks. Guy does everything. And then I'm hearing negative comments about him on TV. I'm like, what? Because he can't close? What are you talking about? He's arguably the best player in the NBA. Drew Holiday, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals. Remember, Drew Holiday's a newcomer still to the Bucks. Forbes played fantastic, and Bobby Portis is also now in the mix for the Bucks. Connaughton gets the start. Wasn't really involved offensively. 2 points, 5 rebounds. Forbes, as mentioned, hit 7 threes in Game 4, 7 for 14, 22 points, 2 rebounds. Portis, as mentioned, 13 points, 3 rebounds, and assist. Jeff Teague, 3 points and a rebound. P.J. Tucker, he's a very good veteran player. A lot of experience, can play good defense. 4 points, 8 rebounds, and an assist. Bam for the Heat would lead the way. 20 points, 14 rebounds. Good job on the boards for him. 4 assists, a steal, and a block. No negativity towards Bam by this Heat fan, me, because the Heat ask him to do so much, guys. It's ridiculous. He needs more help underneath. He needs more physical players. playing alongside him. It's ridiculous to even begin to suggest or to think that Bam Adebayo did not rise to the occasion against the Bucks. That's ridiculous. He is a very good player. Heat need to give him a little more help. Goran Dragic, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. We'll take it in a block. Okay. Jimmy Butler had a triple-double, actually, in Game 4. Even though he shot 4 of 15 from the field, he goes 12, 10, and 10. Trevor Ariza at 11 points. Duncan Robinson, 5 points, 2 rebounds, a steal. Kendrick Nunn off the bench. We know he could score whether he starts or comes off the bench. 18 points, a rebound, and assist. Hero didn't play bad. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Iguodala, his regular self, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Precious barely played as usual, 2 points, 1 rebound. I don't get it. Should play more. Dedmon added 4 rebounds and a block. Gabe Vincent added an assist. Both teams had guys come off the bench for like the last minute that really did not generate any statistics. They were just kind of out there for the last minute or two. So, off season, I'm hearing things about Dragic and also Iguodala. So, are the Heat going to retain their services? Are they going to re-sign them? As far as Dragic goes, guys, I mean, that's up in the air. He's had a great career, but it's like he's by NBA standards, he's not a young player anymore. I mean, he's getting up there. Iguodala, you gotta make big efforts, in my opinion, to hold on to. You must, because yes, Andre Iguodala is well into his 30s right now. I think he's around 37-ish. Still should have at least one more good year left in him if he decides to come back, which I'm pretty sure he is. Why not? The Heat need him because he represents a lot of what the Heat need more of, and that's good defense, playing scrappy. Please, Miami Heat, you got to make every effort to retain the services of Andre Iguodala. Few other small thoughts. The shooting in Game 4 was very much the same. Milwaukee around 46.5%, Heat 44%. If you look at threes, very much the same. The Milwaukee made 13 threes, Heat made 11. Heat shot 33% from 3, Milwaukee 31%. It's nice to see in the series and in the NBA in general some really good free throw shooting, kind of making a comeback in the NBA. Heat go 12 of 14, close to 86%, 15 of 18 for the Bucks, which is good, a little over 83%. Turnovers were virtually the same. Heat had 12, Milwaukee had 11, and of course the big stat, 56 to 40 rebound edge for the Bucks. No surprise there when the Heat go with Dragic, Duncan Robinson, Trevor Ariza is like a small forward, Butler's a big guard. So it's 4 of our 5 starters, and bam. So not much of a surprise there. You bring one big guy off the bench in Dedmon, which is nice, but then he doesn't really even get much playing time. So I could complain about this all day long, guys. I'm not going to do that. I've already, I think, spent enough time on that. He kind of would rely on, if you notice, a lot of their victories this season, especially in the second half of the season, they would rely upon winning the turnover battle, and a lot of times they did. But you go up against a skilled Bucks team with Holiday handling the ball for them. That's not going to be an easy task. You also have Middleton, who's a very good player, very good with the ball, taking care of the ball as well. The Bucks guys could go really far. This could be an NBA Finals team. They have a very, very good chance, I'm telling you right now, to go to the NBA Finals. This series was, let's not kid ourselves, it was the Bucks. It was more about the Bucks. The Heat needs just to get tougher. They need to add a few Jay Crowder type guys. I'm telling you right now, it was a big loss, guys. It was Jay Crowder. That type of player. Get another power forward. You got to get Bam more help more of the time. In other words, he shouldn't be out on the floor all the time as the main guy underneath. You need to have a guy side by side him, playing side by side in a sense. Not all the time, but at least some of the time. That's my big take on this, guys. That's my big take on what I witnessed. in this series. So the Miami Heat season comes to an end. Let me know what you think. Comments below. Go ahead, hit that like button. We will talk again soon. But was it a very good year for the Miami Heat? Not really, guys. Not really. And you can't really make that many excuses because every team had challenges this year. Losing players, no excuse this year. No excuse. We can't do that. Let's not fall into that trap. So this is Dennis Sullivan saying I will see you very soon. Go Heat. We got to believe brighter days are ahead. Bye for now.